I gotta find it. Where is it? Mike. Mike, I didn't mean to. Warden! Mike. No, Mike. Mike, I didn't mean to. No, Mike, stay over there. Mike, Warden! Mike. Yes, give me the warden. Hello, Warden. Yes, this is Dr. Trevor. No, I'm down in solitary confinement now. Yes, I examined him. No, I had him sent away. What caused it? Hard to say. Sudden terrific shock or even emotional blow. Yes, that's all. Wait, one other thing. I examined his room after he was taken away, and in the cell was a spider's web. Yes, Warden, I said a spider's web. And in the spider's web was a button. A little white button. Odd, isn't it?
911. 911. These numbers have a whole new meaning to the world today, and especially to Lauren Mesmer. Her father, Ray, rushed into the World Trade Center to save lives. Lauren is still waiting for him to come home. My Dad Was a Hero by Lauren Mesmer, as told to student adults. On September 11th, we got an announcement in second period that a plane flew into the World Trade Center. A guidance counselor came in saying, if you have family in the Trade Center, please come to the library now. I thought, okay, I'm sure a few people got hurt, but why are they making such a big deal out of this? Then, in seventh period, I heard about the second plane. Then, they called me to the library, and my mom was there. She was hysterical, saying she hadn't heard from Dad. I was like, oh, duh, of course not. He's there helping people. He's not going to be calling us. But at home, Mom kept calling the fire department asking, is Rescue 3 there? That was my dad's company. They were based in the Bronx. When it became night, we got a call that other firefighters were going in to relieve my dad's group. But we were like, well, maybe he'll stay a little longer to help out. He wasn't supposed to be home till Wednesday, so he wouldn't have come home that night anyways. Around 9 p.m., family members from out of state called to say, Uncle Ray's fine. Ray's fine, really. We saw him on TV. He was walking through the rubble. But we couldn't get the station that was carrying that. We were just thinking, well, if he's okay, why hasn't he called us by now? Then finally, around 1 a.m., the fire department called, and my mom started screaming, they were in the building! They were in the building! The person I saw on TV couldn't have been my dad. We heard that Rescue 3 was the second fire department on the scene. They were in the stairwell going to where the plane hit when the building collapsed. My dad was probably charging up the steps, telling everybody to get out of the building. About 2 weeks later, they found my dad's fire truck. In it was his cell phone, his wallet, his 20-year rescue ring, and his helmet. I said to Mom, Daddy's not coming home, is he? She just said, we have to keep the hope and the faith. It's really hard because everything's just the way he left it. His sneakers, his clothes in the bathroom floor, his towel hanging from the rack. His name's still on the chalkboard at the firehouse. Since they haven't found him, I still feel like there's just a little bit of hope that they might find him alive. I just keep thinking it's all a bad dream. But just after they found the truck, they found 2 of the men who were with my dad. They didn't make it. When someone from Rescue 3 told my dad, I told my mom, they also said, we're not going to find Ray alive. So we had a memorial service for him. There was over 700 firefighters there, and over 1,200 people. When they find his body, we're going to have a real funeral for him. He always wore this necklace. It had his name and his helmet number on it. My mom asked my aunt, do you think we're ever going to get it back? My aunt just said, if the whole building melted, the necklace probably did too. And that got me thinking, if the necklace melted, what else went with it? I don't want to say this to my mom because I don't want to put that thought in her head. And Mom says if we don't get anything back, then we'll just bury his mask and some ashes. But for all we all we know, those ashes, they could be some guy Mo who worked on the 58th floor. I can't sit here and talk and not have it be his ashes. I mean, I know it's bizarre and everything, but it's like, I need something of his. I don't even care if it's just an arm or a hand. Whatever it is, it just has to be something of his. When me and my sister cried, we're angry at God. God let other people get out of that building. Why can't he let my dad get out? My mom just says, it's not Ray's day to die. He wasn't supposed to die. He can't save people in heaven. But this has been Laden's fault. We didn't do anything to them, but yet they kill all these thousands of innocent people. Personally, I feel we should just wipe them off the face of this earth. Mom's upset about it, but she says we can't resort to anything as low as they did. And I can't just sit here and cry and think, oh, he's not going to be here for my 15th birthday, or, oh, I guess he can't teach me how to drive. I have to cross those bridges when I come to them. I have to just keep going on with my life and do all the things my dad would want me to do. Even though this is something that's really hard to get out of your head, you just have to do it. I'm taking his strength and putting it towards getting my story out. My dad will always be with us. When I'm studying, he's helping me. When I'm walking down the street, he's just a half a step behind me. Even though my dad isn't home, I still feel safe because I know he's watching over us with all those other people that died. We now have the best angels making earth a better place, and they won't let anything bad happen to us again. You just need to think about all the good things that they're doing up there. I take after my dad in a lot of ways. His looks, his personality, his way of thinking, and he taught me so many things. But I don't want to be a firefighter. I want to work with kids who have cancer, because I've been through that. When I was 3, I had a cancerous tumor removed from my brain, and it was scary for my dad, and he said, I can save people every day from fires, but I can't even save my own daughter. Now it's just weird. I got my miracle, but he didn't.
Body good. Makes bones strong. A great source of calcium. Many of you are probably thinking to yourself, shouldn't she be saying milk does all those things? Or maybe some of you are wondering what carbonated water is. To put it into simple terms, carbonated water is pop. You know, like Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Coke, Dr. Pepper. No, it doesn't do a body good, but unfortunately, today in our society, pop seems to become a substitute in place of milk or water. There is really no one to blame but ourselves, or is there? A 1994 survey by the Agricultural Department shows that teens drink more than 64 gallons of soda a year, an amount that has tripled since 1978. Boys are the top pop drinkers, averaging a total of 3 pops per day. So what's wrong with drinking so much pop? According to Nicole Dyer of Science World, nearly 70% of all soft drinks made in the United States contain caffeine, a natural stimulant extracted from more than 60 plant species, including coffee beans and tea leaves. Caffeine speeds up the central nervous system, the heart beats faster, and pumps more blood and oxygen throughout the body. In turn, you feel energized. But there are also some health risks involved with all this caffeine. Today, I will discuss the harmful health risks associated with caffeine, the effects caffeine has on sports participants, and finally, the advertisement of pop companies. By doing so, I hope to persuade you to cut back on drinking pop, maybe even eliminate it altogether. Today in our society, health issues have become a focus, yet it seems that several are still avoiding those associated with caffeine. Solid scientific research has linked caffeine to anxiety, respiratory ailments, possible bone loss, and other health worries. Helen Quartz continues. Last summer, the Center for Science and Public Interest petitioned the Food and Drug Administration to require the posting of caffeine amounts on drug labels. It cited several caffeine-related risks: insomnia, anxiety, addiction, osteoporosis, and even miscarriage. Children, the group noted, can face some adverse effects, and they face additional risks. And when caffeine is substituted for more nutritional National Institute of Mental Health has found that 8 to 13-year-olds who regularly consume high doses of caffeine were judged more restless by their own teachers. In fact, 1/3 were found hyperactive enough to meet the criteria for attention deficiency disorder with hyperactivity. Caffeine can be harmful to the growing bodies of children since it can cause excess excretion of calcium and magnesium, says Gail Frank of California University. Caffeine can even harm the developing bone mass of children. What about your teeth? It's even found that the enamel in your own teeth can be worn away by acids and pop. Dr. William Cochran, pediatrician, says that even the simplest problems, such as the common cold, can be triggered by caffeine. Indeed, caffeine can be harmful to the growing bodies of children, but what will it do to those who are active in sports? Today, sports drinks are in, and drinking water has seemed to be thrown to the corner. It is no longer a turn to the water bottle, but rather a turn to the Powerade, Gatorade, All-Sport, or even energy. So if I said, obey your thirst, nothing more intense than a slamming doom, or displayed a motion picture featuring Faith Hill or Britney Spears. Do you get the hint? More than half of you could identify Sprite, Mountain Dew, and Pepsi for all those catchy slogans. Pop companies work together to come up with slogans to stick in people's minds. Teens are provided with the most soda advertising at their own schools. Take the gym at my school, for instance. Every basketball season, athletes are provided with posters with his or her own picture and a Dr. Pepper saying underneath of it. These are provided free from our local distributors. According to Helen Quartz of The Nation magazine, schools have been paid up to $11 million each by Coke or Pepsi for the assurance that only that company's product will be sold on school grounds, and for the right to place ads on gym walls and school buses. In Barker's view, caffeine suppliers are following the prime example of another addictive substance, the tobacco companies. Their goal is to perpetuate the market. But these caffeine suppliers are not expected to warn consumers of a certain general warning, such as how it may cause miscarriages or osteoporosis, but the tobacco companies are. These caffeine suppliers are out to target the young adult audience. Why not? If they get kids when they're young, they'll have them hooked and buying for several years to come. In turn, their market goes up. While the dangers of caffeine may be apparent, kicking the habit will be especially difficult when pop companies are out advertising everywhere. So now that you've heard what I presented, what are the chances that you will quit drinking pop? After hearing the harmful effects that caffeine may encounter on your own body, it may help you make the decision to quit. After all, you only live once. Let your body be appreciative.
Agnes Ames is not your typical teenager. She has parent problems, parakeet problems, and enough bad attitude to fill this room. The Search for Signs of Intelligent Life in the Universe by Jane Wagner. Charlotte, listen, it is vital that I stay over at your house tonight. Don't ask me to explain. You have to make your mom let me stay over. Oh, can't you force her to say yes? Look, my parents think you're a bad influence on me, too. Ugh, just for that, you can't run the equipment at my gig tonight. You are out of my life, Charlotte. You are history. You are the creme de la creme. Drop those tapes off at the Unclub, or I'll sue you for all your work. It is vital, Charlotte. Hey, don't you look at me like that. Can't you see that I'm using the phone? And don't touch that cage either. That's my parakeet there. Hello? It is vital that I talk to the radio shrink immediately. My name's Agnes. I'm 15. And my parents locked me out of the house today. I would like to find out if that is legal. I'm in the ladies' room.